Hello, I am Gila Gonzalez, and I'm a community member here in Carrollton, Georgia. And I decided that I wanted to um, introduce you to different angels in our community. And one of those angels is Amanda Carden. She is a family advocate, a forensic interviewer at Carroll County Child Advocacy Center. She's a voice of justice, guidance, spirituality, but most of all, love. And um, she's more than these words, but she is a woman of action. And I love to speak with her. So let me introduce you to Amanda Carden. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Gila. Thank you so much for setting up this time for us to talk. I could say so many of those things about you. You have me blushing, but I treasure this opportunity to chat with you today. I do.
No, thank you, because from the moment I met you, you have always inspired me. And whenever I see you walking into a room, the entire and people say this about many people in our community, but I literally see the light when you enter the room. So thank you, thank you,
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
Um, in our community, we are blessed, but there are some things that we need to work on. But talking about something that has happened in the inner neck of the woods, what happened in South Georgia, what is happening all across the nation, and something that I want you to tell me from your perspective. How do you see this situation? How we can become those people that help instead of deter what God wants us to do on this earth?
Ooh, that that is a powerful question. I think you spoke a moment just a moment ago about love. My goodness, I always tell people I don't have a naive bone in my body. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of things. I don't live in naivety at all. Um, but love, my goodness, it is powerful. Um, and with love comes listening. There's an author that I'm a big fan of. His name is David Joy, who often says when people are hurting, when people are being treated unjust, one of the most powerful things we can do is just hold our hands just like this and let them empty themselves into our hands. Empty, pour out, not with a filter, not with our filter, but to allow themselves to pour themselves, the hurt, the anger, the fear, pour it into our hands. And we don't stop there. When you pour into my hands, I have to do something. What do I do now? I've shut my mouth, which if you know me is hard for me to do, but to pour yourself into my hands and to hear you, to hear you. And now what am I going to do? How can I help you? How can I help make this right? If I haven't heard you, if I haven't closed my mouth long enough to hear you, empathy, goodness, you'll get me on my soapbox, but empathy, my gosh, empathy. One of my dearest friends has two beautiful African-American sons. And I texted her last night and I just wanted to know where they were. I wanted to know where they were, not just for them, but for her. Because as a mom, as a woman, as a believer, I can't completely imagine her fear. But I needed her to know that I heard her. And how do we make this better? And so I think when I see all of this going on and when I see the various things going on in cities right now that is drawing so much attention, we have to step back and we have to listen. What brought us here? No one wakes up on a Saturday morning and says, do you know what? I'm going to go in and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to a Target in Minneapolis. You know what? I am going 2 weeks from now. I'm going to plan to go do this at this store down. What's brought us here? There's an antecedent. There's a stimulus to every response, And if we want to learn, we have to listen. We have to stop with our filter, but then we've got to do more than listen. We've got to act. Sometimes I worry we don't respect each other and who we are just for being pure people. Just pure people. I worry about that. I call myself into that. sometimes, I do. And when are we going to get to be authentic and real with each other? I always say there are amazing books and podcasts and all of these amazing organizations. I'm a member of a number of organizations, but how I learn about people and how my love for people grows is just by being with people. It's just by being with people and opening yourself up to those conversations. And that's a scary place sometimes, and being willing to have implicit biases you have confronted. My goodness, we all have them. And to allow those things and to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And we got to get brave. We've got to get brave. We've got to get brave.
You said that you did not have the answer, but you have given us plenty right now. And those are strong, strong things to do. Because a community gets stronger by uniting itself, not by dividing. When we learn from books is good, but what I can learn from you, just thinking about a friend of mine who is from Brookville. She was my first encounter with someone here in town in 1990 when I entered to work in a place, and I always tell this story, but this is the first time that I'm gonna share it in this way. Because as you were talking about your friend, and she's a girl that was working with me at this place, and it was a factory, and no one understood my accent, and I didn't understand people because I didn't understand the Southern accent yet.
Mm-hmm.
But she did not speak Spanish. She was always translating for me. She always understood what I said. And people will look at her and say, "What is she saying?" And she would tell them what I had said. It was her attitude towards me, which I think is definitely love, because we immediately connected. That is a friend that I never forget. It was her attitude towards me. She was learning as much of me as I was learning from her. She taught me that grits, you needed to fix them in order to like them. And you're going to find the flavor that you like, she said. Some people put this, some people put that, but you will find, but I, to this day, is one of my comfort foods, grits, And so thank you for all of that, those messages, because it reminds us that it's in us that we need to do this.
I had a life mentor of mine one time who was someone who, goodness, was a success beyond measure, not financially, not advanced education per se, but just had that beauty of just knowledge and life and wisdom that you don't learn from any book. And they gave me a beautiful piece of advice a very long time ago. I think an issue sometimes that us lovers and fixers run into. He said, if you want to connect with people, if you want to make people feel valued, don't spend your life acting like you're trying to save them. Don't act like you're trying to save them, because then that means there's something wrong with you. That means there's something wrong with how you live, or something wrong with how you believe. There's something wrong with you. If I'm constantly in a mission to save you, it means that somehow you're deficient. It means you're deficient. I see something as deficient. If I only come when it's time to give out free school supplies, if I only come when it's time to invite you to vacation Bible school, if I only come when I think it's this, and somehow I have power in that relationship. It's not equal. I have something that I feel like you need. And that's not how you build a true relationship. That's doing business. That's doing business. And love, and that's not what love is about. Love is about relationships. You have just as much to give me as I have to give you. I have just as much to learn from you as you could ever learn from me. But if my interaction with you is solely, even when I see it as helping, and I've caught myself, I think we've probably all caught ourselves doing that. If I'm only helping, if I'm only coming in to save you, then I have all the power in that relationship. That's business. It's doing business. And if we want to get better, if we want to grow, if we want to love, we got to quit doing business.
These are the stories that I want to share. So thank you, Amanda,
Thank you
for
for asking me.
for all the love that you give, and especially for that presence that is always there when you need. So thank you.
Thank you, my friend. I love you.